All right. If anybody can hear it, basically, if anybody can hear this, then and I hope then today is the day. Today, the Space Wolves Codex has gone live, and I finally have my special limited edition copy. So, anyway, anybody who's taught, so basically, I said that we're going to be getting some cool stuff in today. So, I'm going to be so basically, let's go. And I know over time, slowly, people are going to be doing it. So basically, slowly, people are going to be talking about this or just coming onto the page. Oops. Sorry, I forgot that was on. So basically, I have copy 205. If you can't see that, it's upside down, but it's 205 or 250. So that's the whole thing I've got. But anyway, let's get into this review. And I hope that what's going to happen is that I'm going to talk about this chat gets recorded, and this is technically the first time I've done this. All right, so let's get into this now. Copy number 250. I love the artwork. Love that. The back work. Really, I need to get a thing of this. So basically, let's kind of get into the lore here. I did some glancing over the lore, and so far, with the Space Wolves, a system was so basically after the Great Rift, Gilman sent in the Primaris Marines to bolster the Space Wolves, and it turns out that they did some change to the lore, and it turns out that all of the Primaris Marines are not Space Wolves. I mean, are not Fenrisian. So basically, they sent these non-Fenrisians to planets, to Fenris, to be brought in. But the thing is that Gilliman thought that the Space Wolves were going to just accept them, when really it took Logan Grimnar and a lot of his oh shoot, I forgot. Hold on. This whole thing gets a little kerfuffly. I'm still working on some. This is the first time I've actually done a stream, and I was like, I'm on the wrong mic. We have got Andre first into the chat. Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you, Andre. So we've got, you're gonna have to forgive me, Andre. I think I'm using my it seems that my mic isn't this mic is actually not connected. I didn't set it up right, but I'm using my camera mic. But anyway, so I might have to get a little closer. But anyway, so right now I'm talking on the Space Wolves Codex, and I got copy 250 right here. And it's pretty good so far. I've glanced over some of the stuff, and I've glanced over the lore a little bit. And so far, now we know that all of the Primaris Marines that Gilliman gave the Space Wolves are not Fenrisian born. So basically, it's kind of this messed up system right now. And The Space Wolves so far, but basically the Space Wolves are kind of having managed to incorporate it, and and not Gilliman, but Logan Grimnar has managed to kind of incorporate the Space Wolves in slowly, the Primaris Marines in. Yeah, we got 3 more people into the chat. Awesome. So anyway, so I like this. I like this aspect of the wolf. Is like I like all the artwork that they've got here. All the new stuff. It's like it says here, and this is in an aspect of the wolf. I like people were kind of teasing this, and it's like there's Halthor Longpelt. It says here he was one of the original Primaris Space Marines to have been recruited from Fenrisian stock, such as his skill in battle and the perfection of the Iron Blizzard tactic, which kind of sounds pretty cool. That his elevation to the Intercessor pack has proved the worth of his new breed thrice over. So it's kind of interesting how they're trying to incorporate the Primaris Marines into the chapter itself, which is not what you're finally seeing, and you're kind of hearing the conflict that's happening between the Wolf Lords and they're trying to figure out how are we going to use these guys if they're not going to be as strong as you thought. Oh, and also there's a thing here. What was it? The great companies. Now the great companies are now what's happened is that they're keeping the symbols for the Iron Wolves and the Fire Howlers, even though that Sven Bloodhowl died. Actually, no, he didn't die. He went missing. Kind of like he basically went missing, like the way like Rugel Dorn did. He attacked he and his forces attacked I think it was a Blackstone fortress, and what happened was they vanished. He just vanished. Nobody has seen him. But we know that the Iron Wolves, Egil Iron Wolf, he was killed at the Siege of Fenris by Magnus the Red, and he was killed. And Orvin Highfell, he and his forces were killed by on Cadia, another world actually. But the new Wolf Lord is Vorik Gnarlfist. And according to that, he said he kept the Iron Wolves symbol as a badge of honor to honor the fallen Wolf Lords that went down. And the Fire Howlers, his Wolf Guard are not basically all right. So basically, when Sven went missing, his Wolf Guard took over the company. The running of the company is in his absence. So he's gone missing, but his Wolf Guard are basically his his company council. Dagon, bro, says not a big fan of Primaris, but I think that's because regular Marines have much more history than the Crusade from the Crusade to now. Well, yeah, they do have they're really trying to incorporate their history into. They're really trying to incorporate them into it, and it's kind of getting a little rough. I'm feeling like it's kind of they're trying to wedge them in, but it's kind of working, not kind of working. It's just that trying to make up a lot of this lore is a little complex for them. It's a little complex, and it's going to take time because it's like basically it's taken 30 years to develop the Space Marine lore and 40K lore entirely. So this is kind of a new. This isn't same territory, but a little new. So let's see here. So basically, let's kind of regale you with some recent history. All right, we know of the fall of Cadia. We know of the opening of the Great Rift. We've all seen the snippets of the Curse of Rust, which is talking about how an Inceptor pack like multiple packs of Inceptors just all of a sudden go full on wolfen. And there are the Primaris trials, which is that some Primaris Marines went to Fenris to kind of go through the trial of the test of Mordecai, which is that they have to go into, which is where they have to travel 1,000 miles through Asselheim to get some to test their mettle again in the Fenrisian elements. So it's going to be they're trying to get, so the Space Wolves are trying to like bring them up in the Fenrisian into the Fenrisian culture. And there's one, and the last one is in the 40K in the Space Wolves history is the Great Portent, which is that the Rune Priests are starting to get information about the space, are starting to get kind of cryptic visions where they're trying to figure out if Russ is coming back, when or where Russ is coming back. And y'all Stormcaller is trying to piece together. It has sought counsel with Bjorn the Fell-Handed to try and piece together what was going on when Russ disappeared. So he's trying. So basically, and many of us are hoping. If you've read not just Wolfbane, but the short story that was released this Monday called Two Metaphysical Blades, it talks about the history of the Spear of Russ and the Spear of Constantine Valdor and their history. And I covered this in a previous video, but I know you want to hear. But it's like trying to keep up the speed. What it is happening is that they're basically, it sounds like they're trying to get the Space Wolves up to maybe a triumvirate, maybe a dual release where Constantine, not just Russ comes back, but also Constantine Baldor, because it seems that Constantine Baldor and Russ are trying to work together on something. Okay, now the thing is that there were some changes to the Codex. Now, as many of you know, there were changes to the Codex that after it had gone to print. So we all know about the warlord traits and the sagas. So I'm starting. So it's like you're kind of and here's the thing. The Space Wolves Codex is kind of it doesn't have everything. They left out in the index. They left out the lone wolves, and they left out the Wolf Guard on bikes. They left out, and because the thing is that they feel Valdor Rush should be unstoppable. Yes, because it's like equal opposites, but also equals. They're pretty cool. And Chris Wright did a good job. And Chris Wright does a good job, especially when writing Space Wolves. And I think like when it comes to writing Space Wolves, you don't just have to have a love. There shouldn't just be a love for them, because it's like you kind of make them too powerful if you love them so much. But if you kind of have like a bit of an animosity towards them, it's like you have to write a story about them, but you have to write one where they have some failings. You can't give them success 24/7. Otherwise, they become boring and bland like the Ultramarines. And so far with the Space Wolves, when it comes to writing, it helps them. It kind of gives them flavor. Gives them like, okay, these like they are warriors, but they're more human than the other Space Marines. And Skywatcher Adept, welcome. Let's see. Primaris need more new models and weapon upgrades to make the whole range make more sense. I get it. I get it. Because so far the Primaris Marines are really one-trick ponies right now. It's like intercessors they're mid to long. They're more mid to long range. Mid to close range combat units. So it's kind of a little rough. So it's kind of a little rough to make it so that, well, I want to Like I want to create like more people are going towards Hellblasters when it comes to Space Wolves because we have the outflanking strategy, which I'll get into in a little later. But let's see. Oh, I bet many of you have all been wondering this. The Wolfen Dreadnoughts. For example, cheap Rhino transport equipment is a must for Primaris. Definitely. The repulsor tank is not going to do it. You can't. Just let me just do a quick thing here. Tempestus, discipline, no. Objectives, new. And let's see here. And characters, fast stack, flyers, troops to dedicated transports. Repulsor. Repulsor is 210 point. Is 210. That's a pricey one. That's a pricey one. That's true. A Wolfen Dread that hits on a 2+ is not bad. That's very good. It's bigger Space Marine stuff. Yes, more original stuff. And it's like we were all hoping. So many of us were hoping that the Space Wolves were going to get. We're going to get kind of more Hellfrost tech. And it's like I was like disappointed right there. And it's like, and I think I remember someone bringing up, like, why are the Space Wolves have this giant planet filled with apex predators, and yet why are we just relying on the Fenrisian wolves and thunder wolves of the entire thing? Like, could we capture a giant Fenrisian kraken and let it loose? But then the thing is that kraken are considered tyrannids. Yeah, kraken are considered tyrannids, and if it's like makes you wonder if a Fenrisian kraken ended up linking up with and the Fenrisian great bear and the giant Fenrisian bear, and it's like if a Fenrisian kraken kind of went into this whole thing, what would happen if it got linked up with a Tyranid High Fleet? Would the High Fleet gain knowledge of Fenris, or would the High Fleet just kind of steer clear because there's like, what is this creature that we have absorbed back into the hive mind? Oh yeah, and ice dragons, Fenrisian ice dragons. So we've got tons. It's like if you've read the Horus Heresy book Inferno, it goes into this very cryptic. You have this very cryptic understanding of Fenris, and I just love how cryptic the authors can be with regards to this chapter and the Legion itself. It says here with the Wolfen Dreadnoughts, it says each of the dreadnoughts housed deep beneath the fang contains a great Space Wolves hero shorn of his warrior physique. But an even crueler fate awaits some of these entombed warriors. Though their bodies are all but lifeless, they still bear the genetic heritage of their Primarch, the Canis Helix, and in rare cases, the sleeping beast within their psyche is awoken. The curse of the Wolfen afflicts the warrior bound within the dreadnought. Sometimes it will distort his crippled body even as it ravages his mind, forcing the Iron Priests to refit the sarcophagus to his gnarled features. The animal fury of the Battle Brother provokes the Dreadnought's machine spirit, adding to its simmering rage a mindless hunger for violence and transforming the walking war engine into a Wolfen Dreadnought. And they did it, and it's like finally there's some artwork for Murderfang. If you can see it, it's pretty cool. And it's like, and they've done. I feel they've done a good job. I mean, I know we didn't get a lot. I know we didn't get a lot of. I know we didn't get a lot of models, the fresh new models, and it's like who knows? The Nova Open is not too far away. The Nova Open's not too far away, so who knows what we'll get. And so far, let's get into the meat of the story. So let's see here. All right, the Warriors of the Fang they have like this. This is Warriors of the Fang. Let's see. Now let's go off their abilities. The following ability is common to several Space Wolves units, and they shall know no fear. That's it. That's the thing. That's kind of, it's kind of weird. When I see some of this, it's like they talk about the abilities that they have, but then it's like then they like all the way after the data sheets, they go down to okay, this is what the army gets as its abilities. It says here. In this section, you'll find rules for Battleforged armies that include Space Wolves. So basically, if your army is in Battleforged, you can't. Reason why Wolfen ended up like this is part Eye of Terror, or so Fluff says. Wonder if Eye of Terror made it harder for the Marines to control the beast with it. Within that, so that's why they ended up looking like that. Well, it's an interesting. Like the way I see it is that. Games Workshop had to do some retconning. I can't remember when, but what was it? It was Wolf's Honor. I ended up getting Wolf's Honor back in 2007, I believe. I think it came out in 2006. And it's like I think what they were trying to do is like kind of bring it more up to date, make it a little more coherent. Although what they could have done was kept some of this stuff. It's like because the 13th Company's Wolfen stuff was pretty good. It's like the Wolfen operated as multiple war bands within the Eye of Terror, and they jumped and their rune priests among the company started becoming more numerous, and they started moving between worlds and it's like hunting down and destroying demons incursions. It was awesome. Everyone loved it. So anyway, let's see here. Let's go. So let's get into from the top to the bottom. Oh, let's go off the war gear list here. So we get the standard combi weapons. We get the combi flamer, combi melta, combi plasma, and the storm bolter, which is basically a combi bolter. Melee weapons: chainsword, frost axe, frost sword, lightning claw. Power axe, power fist, power maul, power sword, thunder hammer, and a wolf claw. As their melee weapons, special weapons are flamer, plasma gun, and a melta gun. Heavy weapons: heavy bolter, las cannon, missile launcher, multi-melta, and a plasma cannon, which is kind of strange. I'll get to that when we get to that. Terminator weapons: chain fist, frost axe, frost sword, lightning claw, power axe, power fist, power maul, a power sword, thunder hammer, and a wolf claw. Now it's kind of strange. Now I know it's strange to say it again, because like we have wolf claws, which are more powerful lightning claws, but likely more in points. But it's then likely with the lightning claw, you're going to get I don't know what you're going to get, but the dedication to both to prove their mettle and dedication to both themselves and to their chapter, made Primaris Marines travel to France to undertake the test of Mordecai. Yes, because they are not Fenrisians, and we all thought, because many of us had read Dark Imperium, that there were some Fenrisians among the Primaris Marines, but it seems that GW decided to take creative license and editor's privilege and say, okay, you know what, we're gonna say they're all not Fenrisians, and that's where they drum them up from somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe even grew them in a vat. It's not unheard of. All right, let's see. Terminator heavy weapons: assault cannon, cyclone missile launcher, and storm bolter. Heavy flamer. Dreadnought heavy weapons: heavy plasma cannon, Hellfrost cannon, multi-melta, and a twin las cannon. Now, basically, here's the thing: I don't think there is a difference between a regular plasma cannon and a heavy plasma cannon. Hey. Though they have no need to drink from the cup of Wolfen, they must still make the 1,000-mile journey across the Fenrisian barrens, bereft of any clothing or weaponry, without succumbing to their bestial instincts. While the majority pass the test, no small few do not return, which is pretty interesting. It's like, oh, so basically, a number of them have either turned Wolfen, or were eaten, or were either killed or eaten by something that they encountered in the Fenrisian wilderness. Yeah. Yeah, that's one way to go. Oh, I just got here and now I've been eaten by a kraken, or killed by an ice troll, or poisoned by a worm. Okay. Now, let's get into the data sheets here. Logan Grimnar, and this is Logan Grimnar on foot. He is a movement 5, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, strength 4, toughness 4, wound 7. Actually, hold on. Crud. Oh, here it is. Index. Nelly. I can believe there are times you think you've got this. Those who don't overcome and pass the test, are they only turned into Wolfen or into the beasts? They are sometimes. The test is they eat. The first, usually a space marine drinks from the Grimnar on foot is greater than Santa Grimnar. But with a tabletop painter, the when it comes to Wolfen, space wolves usually they drink from the cup of Wolfen, which is an unstable gene seed, which is the unstable genetic code of the space wolf of Leman Russ. But what happens is that, and it's like, but the thing is, like, because of Belisarius' call, they stabilize the gene seed and kind of make it so that they don't turn into Wolfen as much. But it turns out they can turn into Wolfen. They have, and during the test of Mordecai, some of these men likely turned into Wolfen, or they were eaten by something else, or killed by something else. Okay, so Grimnar on foot is not bad. He's got a power level of a 9. Hold on, let me just go into the abilities that they were talking about with the Wolves Unleashed, because people have been talking about that like crazy. There it is, the armies of Asselheim. Okay, Hunters Unleashed. In any turn, all right, hold on. Abilities. If your army is battle forged, troop units and Space Wolves detachments gain the Defenders of Humanity ability. In addition, infantry, biker, and cavalry and dreadnought units in Space Wolves detachments also gain the Hunters Unleashed ability. Yeah, primaries should be more vulnerable to the Wolfen curse. Well, technically, yeah, Grimnar and y'all wondered, okay, Grimnar and y'all wondered, are these new warriors better or more resistant or weaker to the Wolfen curse? And it turns out they're just about as the same. So all that work for nothing, Call. Okay, so infantry, biker, cavalry, and dreadnought units. So it turns out, so right now, I'm a little worried here. Actually, unless it's the wording. Nope. So basically, as of right now, Logan Grimnar on Stormrider cannot benefit from the Hunters Unleashed, which is kind of annoying. But I know I figure what they're going to do is they're going to try and do something in the FAQ, some errata, which is kind of annoying. Which is like, I have to say, this is I'm trying not to be I'm trying not to be negative about it, but this is kind of a little Humpty Dumpty right now. Call things you can meddle with the Emperor's work, but there should be horrific side effects. Yes. Take that for trying to improve upon the Emperor's work. You think he doesn't know what you were up to? All right, so let's see. Oops, I'm going too far. I'm telling you, they loaded this codex with tons and tons of characters, so you can have a lot of characters in here in your army, which is not too bad. So let's see. Grimnar has because it's has an equivalent to Chapter Master. It's the Great Wolf, which means that he can reroll failed hit rolls for Space Wolves units that are within 6 inches of him. Some of the Wolf Lords see the gift of Gilliman as a ploy to undo their proud traditions and bend the Space Wolves chapter finally to the precepts of the Codex Astartes. I kind of agree. And I feel that Gilliman, he doesn't like to feel trapped by certain rules, even his own. But he was like think about what he like in Dark Imperium. He wanted the Space Wolf. He was hoping that Call was kind of going to take out the genetic differences in the Space Wolves and the Blood Angels gene seed. But Call decided, you know what, I'm going to keep them in here because I'm going to keep the idiot. To keep some of these flaws, these genetic variations in here. And it's like, because Gilliman's Legion was built for a lot of stuff. It was built for not doing much. Logan on Stormrider sucks anyways, even with the +1 to hit. Well, technically, since he hits on a 2+, he does, and he rerolls failed hit rolls, he really doesn't benefit from the Wolves Unleashed. But he would be able to do a 6-inch heroic intervention. So he has the High King of Fenris. You do not need to take morale tests for friendly Wolf Guard units within 6 inches of Grimnar. He has his 4+ invul save with his Belt of Rust, and he has a teleport strike. Yes. Oh, and let me see here. I wonder if they did any changes to the Axe Morkai. Let's see. Good old Gilliman. Nope, no changes. Yeah. Actually, if Grimnar does charge, you can use your two-handed ability and hit on 2+ without the -1 to hit penalty. Basically, you've got a power fist hitting on 2s that can do 3 damage and -3 AP. That's pretty good, and he has 5 attacks. So Grimnar on Stormrider is a movement 10. It's a movement 10 if he has 12 to 7 wounds. 7 inches if he has 4 to 6. If he has 6 to 4, and 4 inches when he has 3 to 1. Then he loses his attacks in that order are 6, 5, and 4. And that's the attacks that he. Do I have a painted Space Wolves army? Not entirely. I have a lot of base. I have a lot of them based. Like I started this game in 2011. I was mostly into the books, but what happened was that I'm still painting some of these. I've still got some models I haven't painted, that I haven't touched, and it's like I have them primed, but I haven't had the chance to base all of them yet. I went into like a couple of years ago. I went into a moment where I was basing them entire for and I was trying to prime them and I was trying to base coat them, so to kind of get them all ready as soon as possible. Like this is one of my this is like one of my best ones. Sorry, it's like it's not bad. I'm still working on it. But I am going to test it. But I am going to paint some tomorrow at the school. Any other armies? No. Technically, I really fell in love. Oh, for video, it would be nice to see you paint it. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I'll try and work on that one. But anyway, what's happened? But I haven't tried any. I kind of don't want to go for any other armies because I'm kind of wanting to build this one up because I think I maybe have what 5, maybe 3,000 points at max of an army, and it's like I don't really have an actual company. I have more of a strike force right now. I mean, just today, I got myself some a box of Wolfen. I missed out on the Wolfen craze in 7th edition. Don't you find that amazing? I missed out on overpowered Wolfen murder packs. Okay, let's see. With yeah, it is sweet. Let's see. There's the alpha, like on Stormrider, he can reroll his failed charge rolls. And his cherry can attack on its own with 6 attacks, strength 5, AP -1, 1 hits on with 1 damage. Thunderwolf, Wolfen, when they would not. They as much. I bet there are some who are itching at that idea. I bet there are some people at the Games Workshop that are itching to try something like that. Well, it's like basically they may have some grot bash them over the head to forget the idea. Oops. All right, next one. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any Wolfen, and I have been playing since around 1990. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the thing. That's the thing you have to love about the Space Wolves army. You don't need uber powerful units, but it's like because there's a lot of tactical references within the Space Wolves. It's like they're like right now the hello Benjamin and so far. It's like with the Space Wolves, they're I find them one of the most tactically flexible armies out there, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So let's see, Arak Rockfist. He's in Terminator armor, 3+ invul save because of his shield, and his shield reduces. His shield reduces the damage that he receives by 1 to a minimum of 1. So the champion, and he has Champions of the Kingsguard, meaning he can, when targeting a character, he can reroll failed hits, and he can make 1 additional attack in the fight phase for all models with our Wolf Guard. He gets to attack. 5, meaning he gets 5 attacks, and he's a Thane to the High King, meaning he can reroll wound rolls of 1. Bjorn the Fell-Handed, movement 8, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 7, toughness 8, 8 wounds, 5 attacks, with a leadership of a 9. And I'm sorry to say this, guys, but and I'm sorry to say this, ladies and gentlemen, that Hellfrost has not changed. It has not changed. The only thing that likely is that has changed with Hellfrost is the relic Frost Fury. Let's see here. Ancient Tactician Bjorn is in your army. You can get one additional command point. Smoke launchers. Legendary Tenacity, meaning he gets a 5+ feel no pain. I was afraid you was going to say you needed sleep. Let's see. Last of the Company of Rush can reroll hit rolls of 1 for Space Wolves units that are within 6 inches of him. And he gets the Explodes ability. And let's see. And also I forgot. There are sagas. Logan Grimnar gets Saga of Majesty. Arak gets Saga of the Bear. And Bjorn the Fell-Handed gets Saga of Majesty. Saga of Majesty means that if you slay the enemy warlord, if your warlord slays the enemy warlord, then his aura abilities such as the High King and Great Wolf and get bumped up by -3. It's like I work in about 5 hours. Oh. I'm sorry, everybody. To everyone that's sleep, I'm sorry to everyone that's on a different time zone, right? Because right now it's about 6:23 p.m. on my end, and I know a lot of you are probably having to get to work tomorrow or get to work tomorrow or need some sleep. So if you have to duck out, if you have to duck out, it's okay. I hope you have a good day. All right, y'all, Stormcaller. Let's see, y'all, Stormcaller. He is a single model. It's accompanied by Cyber Raven, Nightwing. You only include 1. Stormcaller can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase, and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in each enemy phase. He knows the Smite power and 3 psychic powers from the Tempestus Discipline. So he moves at 6 inches within his power armor. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds with a 3+ armor with a 3. No, it's 3 attacks. Sorry, and leadership 9 with a 2+ armor save. Actually, that's not bad. I had thought that he has Saga of Majesty too, but I thought what would happen was that his psychic hood would be extended. And it's like, I'm a little pissed that it doesn't. His Stormcaller, his runic armor is a 5+ invul save. His staff can reroll 1 fail deny the witch test in each of your opponent's psychic phases, which is not bad. As Lord of Tempests, you can add 1 to any psychic tests you make from the All Stormcaller. And I know many of us really miss the Lord of Tempests psychic table that he used to have in 5th edition. That was so much fun. Let's see, Njal Stormcaller and Runic Terminator armor. His 5+ invul save is bumped up to a 4+ because it's Runic Terminator armor. And he doesn't have anything else. He just drops him. And there's the era they wreck people with axes, claws, and hammers. And in 40K, they also wreck everyone with axes, claws, and hammers. Yes, they do. They're pretty boss around that. And let's see. Rune Priests now. This is a rune. They kind of... Actually, you know what? They took out Rune Priest and Terminator armor. I think they have a regular Rune Priest. Okay, yeah, they have Rune Priest. A Rune Priest model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers and attempt to deny 1 psychic power in each enemy phase. It also knows Smite and 2 psychic power from the Tempestus discipline. That's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. Let's see. This model may take a Psychic Hood, and this model may take Runic Terminator armor. Oh, wow. Huh. Crux Journalist has a 5+ knowledge equipped with turn. So basically, Rune Priest can now have a 4+ invul save if you bump them up to Runic Terminator armor, which is actually pretty good. That's not bad at all. And they have their favorite runic weapons: Runic Axe, Stave, Sword. Primaris Rune Priests are not that well. That's the thing. They need to make it so that Primaris, like, if maybe, heaven forbid, they're going to try to bump it up for the Rune Priests or the Space Wolves, because it's kind of it's a bit rough right now. Like, Primaris Marines are a little rough around the edges. They're like I said before. Right now they're a one-trick. Each unit is a one-trick pony. They needed to wolf them up. Yes, they did. They gave them the furs. Ah, yes. Miss having the power of Jaws of the World Wolf, where you could slay demons. Wolf and Rune Priest on a giant mecha bear. That's awesome. That would be so cool to have. So we've got the standard Rune Priests. Not much has changed, really. Ulrich the Slayer. Now we're on to the Wolf Priests. We've got Ulrich the Slayer, Healing Bombs, and of course, remember, Saga of Majesty doesn't affect the range of healing bombs, or Battlesmith for Iron Priests. Let's see. Ulrich the Slayer, Slayer's Oath, can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase, and if he slays a character or a monster, he get all Space Wolves within 6 inches of him get +1 attack. So imagine if a character with Saga of Majesty if the character uses Saga of Majesty to bump him up to a 9-inch ability. That would be amazing. Let's see. He's practically the same. Wolf Priest in Terminator armor, which is like we don't have a model for, and yet you add it as an option. So don't tell me that you can't have Wolfguard bikers in the book, because it's like you have to kit bash them. It's ridiculous. I want to test 3 Rune Priests with jump packs because of all the new stratagems and powers. Yes, 3 Rune Priests, Living Lightning, and just Living Storm would basically clear out. Like, if you manage to envelop your opponent, get close enough, and over time you slowly whittle each of his units down to maybe 5 or less, and all of a sudden, boom! You use Living Lightning on them and boost it to a D6, and it basically wipes out squad after squad after squad until all of them just we wiped out half. We basically wiped out almost half of what's left of your army, and now we're coming in close to finish the rest of you off. Oh, that would be so cool to see. And also here's the thing: we have the Land Speeder Storm, and remember, it's a transport for scouts, and we have that stratagem called Keen Senses. So take a unit of scouts, keep them out of firing range, out of getting hit by your enemies, and then it's like, oh, I moved my scouts 18 inches around the board. They can fire their sniper rifles at a regular ballistic skill. So try to deal with that. Let's see. You've got Primaris. The Primaris Wolf Priest is just a Wolf Priest with an extra few wounds and more attacks. With an Absolver Bolt Pistol, which is a Strength 5 -1 AP, D1 damage 1. Spiritual Leader, 6+ all Space Wolves units within 6 inches. Basically, here's the thing. This entire book, just do like 2 Supreme Command detachments, and you've got your. Just do like what a Scout detachment and 2 Supreme Command detachments, and see how that goes. That'll be funny. And you know what they should have done as a stratagem would be to make it so that you had 3, like you could use a command point at the beginning of the game to intercept the enemy deep strikers. That would be awesome. And but what would happen? But like, what they should do is like, okay, you know what? For like 3 command points, you can have 2. Well, you can have 2 sagas active. You can give a saga to another character. That would be. Wouldn't that be amazing to have? Oh, let's see. Ragnar Blackmane. That is practically the same, except that his I just found this, so missed a lot. Hi, Running Bear. Nice to see you. I know you. I think this is what's going to happen is that this is going to kind of be saved onto my system, so you might be able to catch it. Let's see. Ragnar Blackmane. Okay, so they kind of added some stuff. His War Howl can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly wolves. That's from, I think that's from the last from the index. Insane Bravado. If Ragnar Blackmane performs a heroic intervention, increases attack characteristics by D3 until the end of the turn. I know we haven't had a Ragnar model, a new Ragnar model in ever. So it's like, and it's kind of interesting. They should have, like, GW should have just said, hey, you know the Space Wolves upgrade kit that we gave, this upgrade pack that we gave you. Well, you can make a Ragnar model from that. Bran Redmaw. Had they just given us a Bran Redmaw model, with a lot of things would be solved. I just wish they could have just done so. Loyal Companions. The death of Svengar and Ulfgar is ignored, but for the purposes of morale, Svengar and Ulfgar are considered to have the character keyword for the purposes of shooting attacks. So basically, you can't target it. So basically, you can't target Bran's little wolf buddies. Let's see. Crom Dragon Gaze. The Fierce Eye. Enemy units within 3 inches of Crom must reduce their leadership by 1. Not bad. Not bad. Harold Deathwolf. I used to run his I used to run back in 7th edition, Curse of the Wolfen. I ran his company. All right, so basically he cannot pass his expert hunter onto another Thunderwolf cavalry or other units, but his mantle of the ice troll king, which they should just say, okay, like they shouldn't have just named it the mantle of the troll king, just name it the mantle of the ice troll king, which is actually rolls out the tongue a lot more. You can add 1 to any saving throws except saving throws using an invulnerable save. They basically pinched us on this one and like saying, we didn't mean it by invulnerable save, we meant it by armor save. So they clarified us. Again, and this is just against shooting attacks, meaning he gets a 3+ invul, he gets a 3+ armor, a 3+ invul save with a 2+ armor save when against shooting. Wolf Lords have not changed as much. They can take a master-crafted bolt gun, which is not bad, which is a -1 AP gun. Could work. Let's see here. These guys are. I see what they're really trying to do here. They're trying to pass these guys off as really cheap, because it's like you have so many characters that you can choose from that you can basically create this like this vast army of characters. Wolf Lord, Thunderwolf Cavalry, Wolf Lord in Terminator armor, Wolf Lord in Cataphractii armor. This model may replace its combi bolter with an item from the combi weapons or Terminator weapons melee list. This model may replace its chain fist with an item from the Terminator weapons melee list. So Cataphractii armor, and also because it's Cataphractii armor, he has a 4+ invul save. But no, his 4+ invul save is bumped up to a 3+ because he has a Belt of Rust, which is not bad. Really wish they kind of gave him some extra energy right there. But I'm glad they gave us Cataphractii armor, because a lot of us is like, well, why does everybody have it? Well, we don't. I think it says we are already powerful enough already. We don't need it as much. The Primaris Wolf Lord Mastercraft can take a Mastercrafted auto bolt rifle. A Wolf Lord in Grav's armor is a Bolt Storm Gauntlet. Mastercrafted Power Sword, toughness 5 with 6 wounds. Actually, no. Primaris, Wolf Lord. Oh, they all have 6 wounds. Canis Wolfborn, Champion of the Death Wolves. Born of Wolf, can reroll wound rolls of 1 for friendly Space Wolves units that are within 6 inches of him. The invul nerf means I won't field Harold in this edition anymore. Don't say that. Remember, you just have to make. Basically, it just says outflank him with some standard powered armored or a Terminator armor wolf guard, and you can protect him. It's like, oh, he's got a 6+ invul, like he's got a 3+ invul save and a 2+ armor. So like, oh, if a sniper rifle tries to get him, he can survive it on it too. And let's see, Born of Wolves. You can make 1 additional Teeth and Claws or Crushing Teeth and Claws attack in the fight phase for all friendly models in Thunderwolf Fenrisian. I think the big missing part for us is no command point recovery, and then made a super command point needed. Yes, I agree. We do, like, we're not capable of regenerating command. We're not capable of regenerating command points. It's crazy. And it's like we've got all this stuff that allows us to generate command points so far. So let's see. Wolfguard battle leaders really haven't changed much. No, they haven't changed much. We do have Primaris battle leaders. Basically, let's face it. Gilliman copied our lieutenant ability. Let's see. Wolfguard battle leaders in Terminator armor. Wolfguard battle leader on Thunderwolf. Huh. You would have thought that he would have given him Cataphractii or Tartaros armor. Don't you think? Iron Priests. This is the hard part. Iron Priests, basically they brought Iron Priests into it. But they didn't take the rest of the Iron Priests out of this. So basically Iron Priests require Iron Priests can no longer be on Thunderwolves unless you decide you want to take the points and character out of the index and incorporate that into the Codex. But here's the thing: we no longer have to basically Iron Priests load out standard Hellfrost pistol and a Tempest hammer. Yep. A Tempest hammer is the standard loadout. Technically the only loadout, actually. Says here, a Tempest Hammer is a strength ×2, -3, D damage. If you roll a D6 and cause a 6, I'm playing to field 45 Fenrisian Wolves made fearless by Saga of Majesty. Now, here's the thing. All right, I remember Skywalker. I'm Skywatcher. Basically, what's happened is that in order for the Saga of Majesty to become that 6-inch bubble, your warlord has to make it so that has to kill the enemy warlord. So you're going to have to do everything you can to box that warlord, to isolate the warlord and box him in, and then kill him right there. Because you know he's going to try and fall back. Because what's going to happen is, if you can damage him enough, but not damage him completely, but not damage him by another unit completely, you can wipe him. You can use the warlord, can go in, finish the job. Blood Claws. They get 1 additional attack in the fight phase. They are headstrong, meaning if they don't have a Wolf Guard unit nearby, then they can't. Then they have to charge as soon as possible. Grey Hunters, not bad. Basically the same. Their Wolf Standard is okay. Especially if you give them Saga of the, not Saga of the Wolfkin, but Saga of the Hunter. Intercessors, an auxiliary grenade launcher, same as regular guys. Wolf Scouts, basically the same. Reavers are the same. They have terror troops, grav shoots, grapnel launchers. Aggressors aren't bad. They're pretty good. Relentless Advance, Firestorm. Send them in with the Long Fangs, and you've got, or a unit of Grey Hunters, and you can just lay down some heavy fire until reinforcements arrive. Lucas the Trickster, everybody. So they changed his they changed his Blood Claws Heroes ability. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for friendly Blood Claws units that are within 6 inches of this model. Not too bad. Oh, this would be funny. Okay, the last laugh. If Lucas the Trickster is slain in the fight phase, both players roll a die, rerolling ties. If you roll lowest, nothing happens. If you roll highest, the unit that landed the blow immediately suffers D6 mortal wounds. And you can supercharge his plasma pistol. Let's see that happen. And what's happened, and the thing is that he doesn't take a wound from his supercharged plasma pistol. He's slain. That would be crazy to see. The legendary Wolfen Dreadnought. And I had to see it for myself. I really did have to see it for myself. They dropped the Blizzard Shield down to a 4+ invul save. I was so hoping that they weren't going to do that. But so far, these guys are solid in close combat. I did some test rolls against events of Death Company Dreadnought, and this guy could tank. And this guy just held the line, killed him faster than he could kill him. Have to head off and get the kids breakfast. Thanks again for the stream. I'll watch the whole thing later. All right, have a good day, Benjamin. So basically, here's what they've done. They've incorporated a lot of Space Marine stuff from the Space Marine Codex into the Space Wolves Codex. Like we have a Company Ancient, which is a great Company Ancient. We have a great Company Champion, and for the life of me, I didn't think I'd see the day. I'd live to see the day A Space Wolves character with a combat shield. Just take Bjorn and Murderfang over them. Well, actually, if you take maybe 1 or 2 Wolfen Dreadnoughts, you would get, with the Blizzard Shield, not only would you get the attacks and the reroll fail to charge, but you would have a model that could keep up with. You would have models that could keep up with Bjorn the Fell-Handed and Murderfang, because Wolfen Dreadnoughts can move 8 inches. Well, have a good night to anybody who's leaving. I think this is going to be up as soon as this is going to be up. So we have the Primaris Ancient, which is like their banners can cause a lot of people to get some stuff. Wolfguard, Great Company Champion. Wolfguard Terminators, Dreadnoughts, and like I said, Wolfen Dreadnoughts can keep up with Murderfang and Bjorn, while a standard Dreadnought can only move 6 inches. Wolfguard and Cataphractii Terminator armor. Wolfguard Tartaros Terminators. Venerable Dreadnoughts, not bad. Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Wolfen, and we've got Murderfang. Murderfang can move 8 inches. Ballistic skill. I'll be darned. Wow. Murderfang can then still take shields. Venerable Dreadnoughts. Let's see. Venerable. Yes. This small Venerable Dreadnoughts can replace its assault cannon and Dreadnought combat weapon with a Fenrisian Great Axe and Blizzard Shield. And remember, a Blizzard Shield is a 4+ invul save. But you get a D6 feel no pain. So that's not bad, but a Venerable Dreadnought can only move 6 inches. Let's see. Standard Wolfen, Murderfang, you can reroll failed charge rolls for Murderfang. In addition, in a turn in which Murderfang makes a successful charge, increases attacks characteristic by 2 until the end of the turn. I think I'd rather have the feel no pain over the reroll of charges. That is true. Although with Space Wolf Dreadnoughts, although it's with Dreadnoughts, there's nothing like when you take damage, it's not really gonna do a lot. There's no penalty to your damage if you're damaged. Sky Claws, Swift Claws, standard. Swift Claw attack bikes, land speeders, Inceptors. Basically, Inceptors are kind of blood claws, but it's like makes you wonder what's going to happen to them later on. They say they're a close combat, a close support unit, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to work with them one day. And Thunderwolf Cavalry. Not much of a change. They're not the line breakers that we know. Fenrisian Wolves, 10 inches. Here's the thing. I was really hoping that we would get Fenrisian. Here's one thing. I was really hoping that we would get Fenrisian Wolves to merge together. So as it is now, no. The only thing that can keep my 45 Wolves from running away is the Howl of the Great Pack stratagem. Maybe. The Warlord kills theirs. Wolf Scout Bikers. I was hoping that they would keep this. Oh man, I'm glad. Oh man. Wolf Scout Bikers, they have behind enemy lines, meaning that they can flank their enemies. That's awesome. That's perfect. Oh, I was worried. Believe me, I was insanely worried. Oh, that was heart stopping right there. Cyber wolves are still there. Parisian wolves and cyber wolves are really cheap. Long fangs. We've got a lot of stuff that really helps out long fangs very well. But unfortunately, guys, I don't know where basically the long fangs have vanished from the 40K from the Warhammer website. Now, on the American side, anyway. I don't know what's happening on your side, but we don't have Hellfrost cannons. We don't have Grav cannons. So I wonder, what are we going to get? Or but basically, where are the models? It seems like they're being repackaged. Hellblasters, an excellent outflanking unit. Now here's the thing. I like here's the vehicles. The Hunter I like because it has the Sky Spear missile launcher, which is 60 inches, strength 9, AP -3, D6 damage. Have a couple of, and they're pretty cheap. Have a couple of these guys, and you can. Those got more expensive from 6 to 8 points. Ooh, like I'm gonna have to check those numbers myself. I'm gonna have to check those numbers. Ugh. Hunters. Let's see. And it's like I like the Hunter because it's like if you have a couple of these, not only is it a good anti-aircraft missile system, but it also can really knock out do some damage to tanks as well. Because D6 damage is nothing to snuff at. You can even it's also you can reroll failed hit rolls for this weapon, which is excellent. Stalker is it's basically an anti-air flat gun. The Whirlwind hasn't changed. Predator hasn't changed. Vindicators, Land Raiders, Land Raider Crusader, the Redeemer, Rhinos, Razorbacks, Drop Pods, the Land Speeder Storm. Even the Land Speeder Storm has behind enemy lines, which makes it perfect. I think it's a fly keyword. Plus all the flavors of Eldar, a lot of things have fly keyword. That's it. That's pretty good. That's true. And it's like you can really take out. And it's like you can really do some damage against the Eldar against Eldar units, especially if you have a flat gun. So it's like if you know that your opponent is going to be an Eldar player, you can expect them to have something that causes fly, because with the Stalker, it has two Icarus autocannons, Icarus storm cannons, which means that you can really bring your opponents down very easily. Let's see. Land Speeder Storm, Scout Bikes, and standard Space Wolf Scouts have behind enemy lines, so it's perfect. Oh, I'm gonna have a squad of Wolf Scouts with a melta gun and some sniper rifles, and I'm gonna have them outflank my opponent. I'm gonna have them outflank. The pricey Repulsor. It can transport 10 Space Wolf Primaris infantry models, but it's expensive. It's a pricey model. It's like for a transport. It's over 200 points for a single dedicated transport. The Stormfang gunship got cheaper. It's very good. The Hellfrost Destructor is disperses 3d3, while the Focused Beam is heavy 3. The Stormhawk Inceptor, which is finally we got that. And the Stormwolf hasn't changed much, likely in points. They've dropped a lot of these guys have dropped in points right now, so we'll see. But let me think here. First off, what I'm going to do. Basically, here's the thing. I'm going to have to make dinner soon, so Longfangs also disappeared from the European Union GW site. Seriously, I mean, come on, guys. Where did they go? I mean, they're old. They're old men. Think of a unit of long fangs with multi-melters using the hunt strat, using the no neck. It's a dream come true. Basically, they made us incredibly powerful here, especially among long fangs. But let me see here. I'm gonna do some stuff here. Hold on, let me just check something here. Let's see here. So anyway, let's see here. I'm not going to go into the points values. So we have a lot of stratagems that are based off of the Space Marine stuff. Like, and actually, I'm pretty happy we finally get orbital bombardment. Bombardment. Anyone who watches Simpsons. Kill shot, flak missile, wisdom of the ancients, cloak of the storm is pretty good, but it's expensive for a command point. Overwhelming impetuosity. Impetuous little whelps, indeed. All right, blood claws from your unit in the fight phase. At the start of the fight phase, select a blood claws unit from your army that successfully charged this turn and is within 1 inch of an enemy unit with a higher power rating. You can reroll failed hit rolls for the blood claws units, and blood claw power ratings are low, like very low. Cunning of the Wolf, we all know that. Trophies of Fenris means that you can give a character another relic, or more than one character another relic. Let's see. Mentor's Guidance. I love that. But Chooser of the Slain, that's a very good power right there. So far we've got a lot of interesting stuff, but I'm gonna have to cut this video off because this broadcast off. I'll have to work on another video. I'm going to work on a video regarding our stratagems later on and our psychic powers, and we'll even counter our tactical. I'll even hit our tactical objectives. So this is going to be interesting. But I will catch you all at another time. It's not going to be a live video, but I will upload another video talking about this. So I hope you all have enjoyed this little my very first broadcast. So have a good night. So everybody have a good night or have a good morning. I think that I will be running Dark Angel with my Space Wolves to take care of command points and use Wolf and Lion strat. It's not bad. Not a bad move. But have a good night, everybody.